Hi, welcome to episode 537 of The Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Blue Sky. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, which is where this episode and every episode show notes will be. And I have an Etsy shop called The Corner of Knit and Tea, where I sell my handspun yarns and knitting patterns. Hi, how are you? It is Sunday, September 14th. I'm recording a day early because I am about to leave out of town on business for work this week. I will be up in Hamilton at Missouri Star's 17th annual birthday bash, and I will be staying away from home in the evenings. They got me a hotel room up there because it's about 90 miles away from my house. And so I decided I wanted to record on Sunday so that you had a podcast for this week. So knitting has been a little light because the week has been crazy busy as I try to get ready to go out of town. But I have one finish, which means I have a few other things that I'm bringing to show you. I have a little bit of progress on the other whip. I admit I favored one and sort of ignored the other this week, but hopefully that will change in the coming week. My spin is almost done, but not quite. I didn't quite finish the singles. I'll probably finish those this evening, and then I won't need to ply when I return. And I think that's it. The weekend has been nice yesterday. It was mostly a relaxing day. I got a nap. I got some crafting. I finished my project. And I am sort of doing laundry and packing and a few other things today just to get myself ready for the week ahead. And then actually next weekend we have a full social calendar because my husband went ahead and booked us stuff for Saturday and Sunday. So the next 7 days are just going to be a whirlwind, and I'll probably need a weekend from my week, but I am excited. So I hope that you're doing well today. I opted to skip the tea. It is in the 90s here, and I have a Diet Coke that I just picked up on our way home, and so that is what I am drinking today. I might drink tea later in the evening. I will bring some tea with me for while I am gone, but it is going to be so hot and I'm going to be so exhausted. I just don't know that I'm going to get there. So let's talk about the knitting, which is really all I have to show you this episode. So I am excited to say that I finished my mystery knit along. I decided to participate in the Hiss and Vinegar mystery knit along by Casapinka, who is Bronwyn, and it was a wrap. It is worked on the diagonal. On the bias, so it comes out a little bit diagonal, but it is basically a rectangular sampler wrap with a variety of different stitches and 3 colors. She encouraged you to pick 3 colors that contrasted, and so I picked an orange, a darker blue, and a lighter blue, and then when I knew that my darker blue was going to run out because it was only a half skein, I added some peach to it, and overall I am really happy with how the wrap came out. I will say that I cheated a little bit and I mostly skipped clue 6. So the wrap is really long as it is, and actually the designer Bronwyn jokes in the pattern that a lot of people said when they got to section 6 that like the wrap was already way too long for them because they're short, but she is quite tall. She's over 6 feet, and so she kept going because she wanted like a really big wrap to cozy up in, but mine will be plenty big. So the last part of clue 6 was a big feather and fan section, and I just decided I didn't need that extra section, so I just moved on to the final garter section to finish off the shawl, and now I am done. I am probably about a month late for the actual knit along finish. It was 6 clues and 7 weeks, and I had a really good time doing this one. So I haven't done a mystery knit along in a while, and I generally don't do them because I usually like to know what I'm getting into before I get started. But this one I knew was going to be some kind of a sampler wrap because that is generally what she does. And I picked 3 skeins in my stash that I did not know what else I would use them for. Like I had bought them for something or another, and I didn't know what I was going to use them for. And it was like an absolute blast to get some stuff out of my stash and to have clues to work on. And I really had a good time. I got a little bit delayed because of travels and other things, but now I am done. So here is my wrap. All the ends are woven in, but I have not trimmed them yet. I have not decided precisely how I'm going to block this shawl. I will probably do a full wet block, although it's just going to grow insanely because all of this is sock yarn, so it's superwash. My other option would be just to do a steam blocking. Anyway, all of my ends are woven in, so it's basically finished with all the knitting. I just need to block and then go back and trim. So I'm going to show you this in full because the mystery has been done for a couple weeks. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. But if you don't want to look, then you can skip ahead a little bit and see what I'm working on next. So it started with this garter ribbing, and like I said, my colors were this bright orange, which is Treasure Goddess, Treasure Toes sock yarn, which is an 80/20 merino nylon blend, and it is in the colorway Lusty Wench. And then this next one is an 80/20 merino silk blend, and that is from Lola Bean Yarns, and it was a color for it was a color in honor of Ukraine. It came with a yellow mini, but I decided not to use that. The reason that I loved it was because it had blue speckles and orange speckles, which matched my orange. And then the blue here is some Caribou Ba in, I can't remember what the colorway is. It was a set of 2 50-gram skeins so that you could make colorwork mittens. And I never made the mittens, so I went ahead and pulled the blue out of it. And I just love these 3 colors together. So I worked through basically as written in the pattern until I got to about here, which is when I realized I was really going to run out of this blue and I wasn't sure what else I was going to do. So I went ahead and introduced some peach. This is an Emma's Practically Perfect sock, which I think is also an 80/20 superwash merino nylon blend. And it was in a peach colorway. I can't remember whether it was Perfect Peach or I think I'm confusing it with her Perfect Sock blend, but it was in a peach colorway. And so then I started, I knit all of these sections as written, other than the fact that I might have substituted in different colors because I was trying to work in the fact that I had a 4th color. So I just continued to work through this whole shawl in all the pieces, working in all my colors. And I think my favorite is this broken rib section that I was showing you last week. I did all 3 sections of that. And then I literally, to the last yard, used up that dark blue here, the Caribou Ba. And then I finished up these stripes, and there was supposed to be one more section, I think, that looked a little bit like this one with the B and C, and I just decided I didn't need that, so I went ahead and finished off in my color B, and that is it. So like I said, all my ends are woven in. It is definitely more than my wingspan. So way out here, so it is going to be a lovely wrap. Here you go. You can kind of see from one end to the other. It is going to be a lovely wrap. I love how the colors came together, and I don't know how much I will wear it, but I did love knitting it, and that was really, really fun. I think I might sign up to do another one of these the next time it comes around, or I might pick another pattern from my stash and pull a few more skeins out of my stash and try and do something like this again, because this was a super fun project. Really enjoyed that. I'm also glad to have a finish after several weeks. So that was the knit that I mostly focused on this week. I did do a little bit more on Roxy's sweater. This is the Cove cardigan by Heidi May, and this is the one that I will turn my attention to next. So basically it is a top-down raglan cardigan, and I am all done except for the sleeves. And so last time when we talked, I had just done a few rounds on the sleeves, and now I am a little further into it. I still have, I think I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of decreases, so I still have 4 more to go. So I'm maybe halfway done with the sleeve, maybe not quite halfway. And this is going to be my project for this week, particularly while I'm away, is to work on the sleeve. I am using Malabrigo Rios in the colorway Pines, and it is just this beautiful teal color, and everything else on the sweater is done. All of the ribbing, all the button bands, this beautiful attached leaf lace edge. So really all I am doing now is just getting my sleeves done. So I will be taking that with me and working on that this week, hopefully at night in the hotel. Generally, I end up being pretty exhausted after a full day of work out among people, sometimes in the heat, but I am taking it with me so that I hopefully will make some progress on it. So since I finished the shawl, I am allowed to cast on something new, and that's my rules. I was trying to get through some of the projects that I really wanted to get through before I cast on anything new, and it occurred to me that Thanksgiving and the holidays are coming, and the kids need new socks. I traced their feet when we were together in Hawaii, and I need to find that piece of paper because I can't find it. I'm really good about maybe remembering to do the thing, and then I'm less good about remembering where I put the thing. So the first pair of socks that I'm going to knit are going to be for Miles, and this is yarn that I bought when I was in Kentucky. It is dyed by a dyer in Nicholasville, Kentucky, called Deep Dyed Yarns, and this colorway is called Good Juju. It is 75/25 superwash merino nylon, 435 yards, and it is in the colorway is Good Juju. And so it's just kind of a black and neon with rainbow, and he loves neon. He loves bright colors and rainbows and all kinds of things. And so I am going to knit him probably just a pair of stockinette socks, but I don't know, maybe I'll come up with a pattern. I'm going to start knitting my nephew Miles a pair of socks out of this one. I have another one that I'm going to knit Roxy some socks out of. And then I think I'm going to combine the two leftover skeins. Both of them are neons and black. And I think I'm going to combine them and knit something for myself, knit some socks for myself out of both colorways. Maybe I'll just alternate rounds. Anyway, so I need to wind this up this evening and take this with me because I also thought maybe I would get a little just plain sock knitting done while it was gone. Finally, on to the third thing that I'm working on while I'm gone. Yes, I know I'm only going to be gone for 5 days. Why I'm bringing so many projects, I don't know, but I just want to be sure I have something that I want to work on. I have a new chicken. I just received this yarn in the mail yesterday. I don't know if chickens are pink, but this one is. And then it's got little bits of all of the other colors in it. It's got teal and yellow and mint, and I saw some purple in there and some orange, and it's just lots of little bits spun together. And this is going to make an amazing chicken. I got a full box of this yesterday, so it's going to be a really big one. And so I'm taking a few skeins of this with me so that I can settle in the evenings and watch TV and maybe work on chickens. So that is kind of my plans for the coming week. I don't know that I have too much else to tell you. Like I said, I still have a spin on the wheel. I'm hoping to finish the singles this evening, which means when I get back, I don't even know if I'm going to have any time next weekend, but once I return from my travels, I will work on plying that. So that will be available at some point in the not too distant future. And I'm not sure what I'm going to cast on after I finish Roxy's sweater. That's my next kind of milestone. And then I might cast on something for myself for the fall. I bought some yarn in Scotland that I would love to turn into a vest. And I think I even have a pattern picked out, although I need to swatch for it. I also found another sweater pattern that came out this week. And I have yarn from Australia that would work for that pattern. Or sorry, not Australia. I have yarn from New Zealand that would work for that pattern. So I foresee maybe a sweater for myself coming up, but I'm not sure exactly what I'll cast on. Other than the socks that I know I'm going to cast on for the kids, I'm not sure exactly what I will cast on next as a project for me or for someone else. I can't decide. I might do another sampler shawl. I might go into a sweater. I might go back and pick up one of the projects that I abandoned earlier this year for a variety of reasons. I just kind of have to see. Anyway, I hope that you have a lovely week ahead. I know that this is a very short episode, but like I said, I didn't want to miss a chance to come and say hi to you. I hope that you have a lovely week ahead, that you get lots of crafting done or find fun, fulfilling things to do. And I will see you in a week and a little bit, probably exhausted, but hopefully with some progress to show you. And until I see you again, I will say happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.